you never want someone to hold you accountable. You can't be with someone to hold you accountable.
Already said
You will
sorry,
never be
I'll
with
take
someone who can hold
accountability.
you accountable because
You're
you
the one
just
that
you
actually
twist
does
shit and you will never. Of course, you don't want to be with someone like that.
Then why'd you take me back after?
Cru, because I had feelings for you because I was in the worst place
If I have
ever.
a horrible character, why would you take me back?
Do you not know? Because that's how abuse works. Because you're love bombing, you're there for me. I'm fucking confused. I'm crying too. I'm like, I don't.
Abuse.
I was like, I don't want to be alone. Your manipulation is abusive.
Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and today we're reuniting with the sexy singles of Real Short's new reality show, Secrets and Soulmates. Ever since they left the house, relationships have been tested, friendships have shifted, and messy breakups went down. And today, we're gonna unpack it all. We have Brynn. Hello, Brynn. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great.
How are you feeling today?
I'm here in sunny California, so can't complain.
And you look beautiful. I love your dress. We're also here with Toni.
Hey guys,
How are you feeling?
I'm good. I did watch the show.
What did you like about it?
I liked hearing what people were saying behind my back. And I was hoping people would be here and call them out.
What was the most surprising thing you heard behind your back?
That's the most surprising thing.
Oh,
I
we'll
mean,
get into it.
nothing really surprised me too much. But Electra was like, I don't like Toni. I'm like, bitch. Like, I thought we were cool.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Cru, what is up? How are you?
We're here.
You excited to be here?
We are here, yeah.
Right. And did you watch the show?
I did.
And-
I didn't watch for like a week, and I was like, I should probably watch it.
Yeah.
Just to see what was said when I wasn't there.
Anything surprising come to mind?
Yeah, there was some stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Just
we'll get into it today,
into
but
it, yeah.
we're happy you're here. So thank you for showing up. Now, Julie, you look amazing. I know you just got back from Bali a couple days ago.
Yeah, I flew in.
Tell us a little
Some
bit.
things to do unfinished business here.
Fair enough. I know that you've had a few hard months recently, so hopefully today provides you some clarity. But we're going to get all into the show of Secrets and Soulmates, and there's no better place to start than with Brynn, the winner of the show.
Oh,
Congratulations. You and Jace actually were each other's secret soulmates.
I called that shit from day one. I just want to point that out.
We did.
Wasn't in the final cut, but I called it.
Here's your crap.
How did you feel when you got to the end of the experience and you realized that you were with the correct match?
I think that going through all of like the challenges and whatnot, like I had a feeling that that was the case, but I think it was like one of those moments where it was just kind of like, it was nice to see it realized, but I also like, to be honest, I was surprised to think that like all of the other ones were wrong because I didn't I wouldn't have guessed that. Like, to be honest, like I thought there was going to be multiple of us that like had picked the right people. So I think that was probably most surprising to me. But yeah, I mean, it's been like half a year now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's since September. Like, it's been a long time.
Obviously, we saw the connection between you and Jace on the show, but it didn't work out. So tell us what happened after. Take us through.
And I mean, of course, that's difficult with distance. It's like you live in different states, you're in different areas. I was living in New York, he was in Georgia. But also, it's like, I think we even recognize.
And how did the breakup
It's not
happen?
like-
It was mutual?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think breakup is a strong word, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
I think, like, it's when you're on the show, it's like, yes, you're doing things together, but it's still like, there was never like, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Well, another thing I want to talk about with you is your relationship with some of the other girls in the house.
oh.
What, that looked like it was a little rough for you. You got along with the girls, but it ultimately ended up with a push in the pool.
You should be thanking me because you're only here because I wanted you here.
Hey,
You are only here because of me.
y'all settle down.
Yeah, because it did go how I wanted it to go. So maybe you should be fucking nice and align with us because you were against us this whole time. So get the fuck out of my face.
Oh my fucking God, I can't even do this
Back
right now.
up, Brynn.
What the fuck?
Jules, what did you just do?
Yeah.
Why we got
yeah.
separation.
Now, there are some people who
Luckily,
have
there's
said
friends here.
that you were not a girl's girl on the show.
Yeah, I was boring. I was a girl's girl.
Right. And I want to
There's
hear
a lot
from
of
you.
things.
I want to hear from you about it, but I do want to ask Julie at first. You seem to bond with some of the other girls in the house. There was a little bit more of a hesitation or a push and pull with Brynn. Why do you think
Push
that
and pull
was?
was great.
First of all, I adore Brynn. But when we were first in the house, it was like Electra, Savannah, we were very like girls, girls. And it's there. I always have a raised red flag anytime I see a girl like talking to men because I'm like, ew. For what reason? For what good reason would that go down? And so I think a couple of us were like, okay, what's your intentions? Are you male centered? Like, are you going to have their back over our backs? I am fiercely loyal in that regard to my friends. And I had some pent up anger. And I also projected that a little bit onto Brynn.
I felt that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt
I could
fire
have pushed
that.
maybe like someone else into the pool, but
You could have, yeah. I think with
Are you gonna get your get back?
my get back, I'm not a revenge girl. My revenge comes in different ways, and it comes with bettering myself and not dealing with other people. But besides the point,
Fair.
I very much appreciate what Julie says, and I think too, it's like the whole idea of like being a girl's girl, not a girl's girl, I think was difficult for me because, to be honest, I don't know that I am a girl's girl in like everybody's typical version of the term, where it's like, I'm going to respect you as much as you respect me. And if I feel like that's not being met, I'm not going to be a girl's girl for the sake of just like supporting people who I feel like I'm not agreeing with, And I think at the beginning, of course, it's like I'm always going to take a seat back and just like listen and try to figure out what's going on. And I was definitely more reserved. And I think that could have come off as, me being standoffish or maybe not being as friendly with the girls or wanting to be a part of, the group. But I think, it's like they've all done some version of reality TV, and it's like, I got it.
that's
And
true.
I think like even just being around cameras, it's like, I'm just not used to that. And it's like, I think I wanted to be very careful with, what I was saying and how I was coming across. And I think, of course, like that energy might have transferred in a way that could have felt wrong for the girls. But I think a lot of the moments that maybe I was there for Julie was maybe behind the scenes and not in front of the cameras. And I think like there were moments.
yeah, we
like
also
that.
went out in LA and we had a great time.
Exactly.
Brynn was not as boring as I said she was on the show. She could
Yeah, there was a lot of
Brynn,
boring
like, was
comments in
hanging
there, and I was
all of
like,
us.
but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
but I
hang.
for sure.
And she's fun. Yeah.
It's
love that.
It's just one of those things.
Actually.
Yeah, we had a good time, and
Yeah,
I
we
think
were
it's just
all
like
having
it
fun.
comes out in different ways. And I think it was.
Well, I mean, listen, we're going to talk about the rap party because after the show, these sexy singles who weren't single at the time all came back up to LA to hang out. And this is kind of where you come into the picture, my guy, Toni. So before we get into all of that, tell us, why did you go on this show to begin with?
Why did I go on the show? Because it sounded fun and I wanted to do it. By the way, I just want to clear something up real quick because I was casted on the show for like 3 months before we actually filmed it. And then like Tracy, the casting director,
Wait, you were what?
I was casted on the show for like months. I was on hold for the show for like 3 months before we started filming it.
Thirsty dog. You couldn't wait.
Bro, like at the time, like the girl that gets brought up in the show, her and I were super cash. Like we were like just hooking up. It was cool, like nothing serious. And then like just like 3 weeks before we started filming, like we just started getting a little bit more serious. Like it just happened. But I told her, but I told her, I was like, I'm literally about to go on a dating show. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was like, I'm gonna behave myself,
Right.
But like,
You
I'm
guys
just-
official before you left?
no. Well, like we would
Not well, but
we would have been, but because the show was coming up, we like kind of have like an agreement, like let's just like hold off on it, right? That was like kind of the idea.
Right.
Um,
Well, I mean, do you think that impacted your experience? Because you were voted out. You were the only guy voted out.
yeah,
And I can't help but think part of that is because you did have this girl back home that everybody started to hear whispers about.
2 things. One, I wasn't really connecting with any. Brynn and I had the best connection from my standpoint. Of course, obviously, she was.
Don't look
Jace.
at me.
But like with the other girls, like I honestly didn't really have a connection with them anyway. So I may have still been voted out, like regardless,
Yeah.
But it did play like mentally, I was like conflicted. Like the whole time I was like,
Should I be here? Should I not
no,
be here?
yeah, it was also like, how like do I flirt? Like how much do I flirt? Whatever, blah, blah. I'm not really even a good flirt anyway.
Wait, so are you still with the girl now?
Yeah, we're still together.
Did she watch the show?
She did, and her sister filmed her reaction watching it.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna post a reaction, but she was like,
you didn't really like did you make out with anyone?
His dancing skit.
It's like
I'll never
we're dry
forget.
humping.
That's
I was just trying to win you
A little bit.
a
Yeah,
little
a little
bit.
bit.
And out of nowhere, big old plop on my lap. Kind of hurt a little bit. I was like, damn, who the hell? Oh, shit. Oh. I'm like, ooh, wait, I kind of like this.
I approve.
Just sitting back enjoying the ride.
Well, let me ask
Very
you.
See a
still
little
do.
dry hump by
Yeah.
chance?
A very stiff dry hump. and then I did
Yep.
and then I
The
and then
memories.
Electra resuscitated me.
Oh
I like rubbed Bryn's legs and boobs with oil.
Well,
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Julie, you were kind of the ringleader in getting everyone to vote out Toni. Why?
I'm voting for this person because he just went on a smear campaign on my name and on my man's name because he's trying to save his ass. He has been coupled up with every single girl here and has still not found anybody. So I am going to give this one to Toni.
Tell him, Zach.
Well, first of all, I just think I was like the ringleader in general. So the show was just going to go how I wanted it to go. So Savannah was my best friend and her man was in there. So when people looked to me for what we were going to do, which I did feel a little bad because I did secure Toni's vote, voting how I wanted to vote.
Wow.
But I was like, that's just not how like I want the show to go. So it was just going to go down how I want to go down. But it was a vote for Savannah because Savannah just had like her man was in there and like someone has to go. So who else was
Sure.
there? I mean,
I want to chip. I
Cru
want
would
to
have
chip
been the
in.
other one that we were gonna like
Yeah.
have, but I like needed someone in the house to torture her, so
Clearly.
couldn't go yet.
I want to chip in on this because Julie told me she was not going to vote me out.
Yeah.
She lied to my face.
But I said that so that you would vote for Sam.
I
Should
know,
have done some research.
bro.
She's
And first of all,
brilliant
I'm
side.
kind of fucking stupid for this because if like just looking back, it's like obviously she's gonna vote me out because Savannah's her best friend, but me being
Down with
I
the
will
girl.
say this though, if you didn't have the girl thing, I think it would have been a lot tougher of a choice. But because I was there, for me, it was.
I don't think so
Yeah.
because everyone was gonna vote how I wanted them to vote, and that's just was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Who did you vote for?
Oh, besides Brynn,
Right.
that's why I pushed her in the pool.
Brynn, who did
she
you
wasn't
vote for?
listening to what I wanted.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
pushed in the pool for not being a girl's girl just because I wasn't listening to Julie, which fair enough, but I'm an independent person. You gotta respect me for that.
But I do
Yeah,
want to kind of circle back to the rap party because a little birdie told me that
the
the
birdie.
two of you might have
A little birdie or a
Kissed?
golden birdie?
potentially multiple birdies. Is this true?
Why
Did you
do all
guys
these birdies
kiss
keep
at the
talking?
rap party?
Yeah, we kissed.
We might have, yeah.
So
Yeah, we made it.
weren't you guys?
It wasn't a kiss. It was like a kiss.
Right.
Okay, Cru.
I was
We
there.
saw
You were there.
I saw it.
We were there. We saw it.
Was there more after that?
What? No. Like, what's the
Yeah, we just
question?
made out. Yeah.
I guess the question is, you know, you ended things with Jace. You left the show single. Well, now you have a girlfriend, so I guess there is no question.
Yeah.
We were on a break.
Did she
Oh.
know about that kiss? Okay,
What's
Ross.
it? What's up?
Does she
Does
know?
she
Does
know
your
about
girlfriend
that
know
kiss
that
with
you
her?
kissed Brynn, or
Yeah.
does she know now?
She got in there now.
All right. Well, to be fair, I was also very tipsy, and it was
Yeah.
like one of those things where
It was just
Julie and
like-
Cru were hanging out.
it was just like-
Savannah and Ty were hanging out. We're like, sure.
It was
fine.
basically a truth or
The
dare.
secrets
Yeah,
and
it
Yeah,
was
like,
not.
there was no
it was
truth
not.
there.
Yeah. Cru was like,
Cru definitely was like.
We can agree on that. It was no truth or dare.
I don't think. we
That's
did.
one thing you got to contribute.
I don't think we believe Cru.
Right. Well,
It
this,
was yeah.
well, I mean,
It
I
was
think-
just like it was like a silly like thing. It's like
What was a silly goofy thing?
a silly.
I feel like
Moving
there-
on.
I've always felt like there's chemistry between you two.
I think there could be chemistry
You guys
between
should
two
try it
people,
again.
but it's not a
Yeah, you
relationship.
should try it
See
again.
if it's still there.
Let's try it.
Oh, I mean, hey, feel I could just get out of the way if you don't want to get into it. But hey,
I'm spoken for now.
right. Sorry to your beautiful girlfriend. What's her name?
Jalen.
Hi, Jalen. We love you. Let's take a little bit more of an interesting turn and get into one of the most dramatic relationships of the season.
It's like a
Cru
Gotta be you.
and Julie. Now, Cru, you came into this experience looking for love, a single father. What initially drew you to Julie?
That's a good question.
The connection was undeniable from the fans who watched the show. There was an instant
Yeah, no,
pull
it
between you
definitely
guys.
was. I mean, we were just kind of eyeing each other. It was just happening. I think
Yeah.
she's sexy and very pretty. Obviously, look at her; she looks great. And you can't really explain it. We just were there. We had it. It's that chemistry spark that a lot of relationships don't even have. Even like happily married couples don't have.
Yeah. And Julie, it seems like you gave your fair shot to all the guys in the house. You wanted to get to know everybody.
Yes.
You know, you got a little frisky in some challenges, which is all fair game. But
Thank you.
what was it about Cru that you really wanted to zone in on for the experience?
I mean, like, yeah, there was like an undeniable chemistry. And I think I said that on the show. I was like, I don't know if I'm attracted to this because it's familiar and maybe a pattern I need to stop picking or like what this is, but I was willing to explore it. But definitely the connection was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest criticisms from the fans at home watching is they don't know if this is real or not, but the relationships in the house were real. You guys did have feelings for each other, short-lived or not, feelings were involved. So put that rest to bed. Cru, I noticed that there was starting to be some tension in the house, right? Especially when Samantha came in. But regardless of that, you guys started to kind of bicker and it almost felt like you wanted out. And then, you know, you still stayed with her even after the show. So how were you feeling? What were those reservations for you?
I'm getting the giggles. This is bad. What were the reservations? Is that a question?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody could see it. You okay, Tony? You messaged me? No, mine was I hate drama. I'll be honest, it was fun for a little bit to never like do that kind of drama. Well, it's just kind of spicy, it's kind of sexy, like whatever. I get the toxic love cycles people could fall into. And after a point, I was like, why are we fighting? Like, why are we fighting? This is crazy. If you like me and I like you, like, let's just, chill out. And then she was just like, yo, I want to make out with everybody first.
You were very candid about, sometimes you go for toxic men and maybe the toxic men should get checked if you're interested in them. Tell me a little bit more about why you think that's been a pattern for you in your past relationships.
I mean, childhood trauma and repeating cycles it's like what you're like trying to solve the pattern and you like look for it in the same person when you need to stop looking for it in the same person. But I think what I noticed on the show back is I know you're like, you're fighting with me. But I'm also like calling out your hypocrisy, like your incongruencies. And then you're like, but you're fighting with me. I'm like, yeah, of course you'd want me to just not say anything and just be passive so then you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, I think that's a part that's even right now you're doing it. You're all like, why are we fighting? Like, because I'm responding to the things that you're doing. And I know I did things too, like we've talked about that. And then it's that. And then it's like, okay, so now we're back and forth in a cycle instead of being like, okay, you're right, Cru, you're right.
What made this experience different?
It's completely different. Like all of your insecurities are brought up so much more. Your childhood trauma is brought up so much more. Like when you're dating someone and then someone's like picking you and then not picking you. I understand when people watch dating shows and they're like, how are they so invested? But you get invested because you're spending so much time together. You're talking so much. Like in the episodes, you see one conversation, like 3 sentences, but like Cru and I were up for hours that night, just like talking. You get so close with each other, but you're also having to make really quick decisions and you don't get the luxury of like taking time or pausing. It's like everything needs to get figured out right now. And even when we're like arguing, it's like, well, like we don't, and there's a scene with Cru and I, and I'm like, we don't have any more time. Like you have to decide now. And so it's a whole different, it's a trauma on a different, yeah.
Like we talked for hours.
What I do notice is you're definitely like making an effort with me.
Are you okay with that?
You do whatever you want.
Cru and I definitely have a connection, and I do feel like something is there between us, and I am intrigued.
When you ask like, what's your dream date? I'm like, it's you in your cage, and you're under here, and you sleep there all night. And then in the morning.
Unhinged. We didn't sleep that much. In the talking sense.
Yeah. Now, when Samantha came in, she challenged your relationship. Did you feel like you had an opportunity to really pursue Samantha? Or was it going to be impossible because Julie was right there?
No, I think that's what I was attempting. And then someone got in the way and voted her out.
I also gave you the space and time, though.
As she stated earlier.
I gave you a whole day to explore. And then I was like, that's like, I've had enough of that.
Right.
Her presence is strong. She is a leader. She's fiery. She's passionate. And it's on her clock and no one else's. And she'll admit that. Because she kept asking me, who do you think soulmates? Who do you think soulmates? And in the back of my head, like your subconscious thought that you usually don't speak, I was like, I genuinely do think it's Samantha.
And it was.
This is crazy. I was. Yeah. But it was crazy. I got so much chemistry with her and we were similar in age. And like, we just figured I could see both.
I also had it in the back of my head that they like might have been soulmates. Cru and Samantha also knew each other in real life. Like that got completely cut out. And I think that's unfair.
Incorrect.
Did you know
Cru was
Samantha?
in this bitch's DMs for like 2 years, like flame emojis.
Is that true?
I can show you every single DM.
Did you know her before? Have you ever met her in person?
No, they knew each other on Instagram though.
Did you know she was going to be there?
We hadn't met.
You knew each other on Instagram though.
So I had followed her on Instagram because she was a gym baddie. I'm like, all right.
So he's lusting after this girl for like 2 years and then she gets brought into the show.
Lust is crazy. You don't follow people on Instagram?
No, and I don't
I don't
DM
send out
them
fire
flame
emojis.
emojis like when they're not
It's
replying.
different. You don't have
Yeah.
to try. You just
You-
open
Exactly.
your DMs.
Did you see his DMs? Okay, she saw your DMs. Did she?
Yeah, I showed her. I've showed her everything.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of get into what happened.
That was a crazy smart.
Yeah. Let's talk about it because the two of you left the show together. Regardless of Samantha, you guys chose to continue your
I went
relationship
straight to her house.
straight to her house. And what was those first few days like once the cameras were down?
Good.
Good?
Yes. No. Great.
I mean, they had to be
I'd say
pretty good.
great.
As viewers were asking, like, is it real? Like, even Cru and I sat, like, cameras were off. Cru and I went and sat outside the house and we were just like talking. And it, like, Cru asked me, he was like, I don't know, like, if this is real for you. And I was like, obviously, yes, we are on a show. And there's like certain things that come with a show.
So did you end up reaching out to Samantha?
Yeah, I called her after leaving back home to Utah because she wanted me to fill it out like what happened. Because you guys don't know, like once you went home, you missed the last 2 or 3 days or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we talked after the show. I FaceTimed her.
Cool. Well, what ended up happening is you didn't get cast for that show and you ended up moving to Utah, which is where Cru lives, to continue your relationship.
Yeah. Well, my lease was up in LA anyways. And I was like Cru and I were still talking and it was.
Well, let's backpedal, if I may cut you off. After the show, I go straight to her house. We have a night, and then I fly out back to Utah. We have, I think, 12 days, 14, like 2 weeks of the best FaceTimes I've ever had. They're like magical chemistry, which they didn't show on this show.
Yeah.
Like our first couple conversations we had.
Mhm.
And I was telling her, hey, like, you're my girlfriend. Like, this is happening. Like, we're going to do this. Like,
Yeah, Cru said, he was like, if
If
you
you don't
weren't
go on
getting
the
casted for
show-
the show, I would have already asked you to be my girlfriend. So then when I like didn't get it, I was like, hey, I like didn't get it. And he's like, oh, you might like, cause he was coming to LA for the rap party. He's like, oh, you might be like leaving with a boyfriend. I'm like, oh, let's like talk about it. We'll talk about it in person.
Right.
And then how I ended up in Utah, I was like, okay, I'll come there
so
because my
the
lease is
Utah
up.
part happened at the rap party.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I had my lease right before the Utah, before I went to Utah. When
No,
you
I know,
flew
but-
in, I had my lease signed to move to Utah.
incorrect.
That's not true. You showed up and I had I
No,
literally paid for my lease.
that's not. Here's what happened. I go to the rap party.
You helped me move. I would have.
I did.
That has to
That
be.
part's true.
So then I had my lease before. The day
Yeah, I'm
before
just
you.
gonna
The day
say
before
my
you came.
truth for a second.
It's not your
And then you
truth.
can-
It's the false.
No, I'm just gonna tell you what
Okay,
happened.
go ahead.
I go to the rap party. I fly in. You pick me up. You give me a prime. Very kind.
Yeah.
But then we have a party. We're having a blast. We go to the party. Shit hits the fan. Toni remembers. Because I didn't buy her a drink.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
talking about
like
the drink,
end of
yeah,
the
yeah.
But
month.
it wasn't just
Remember
that.
that?
It was like all these
And I
like
didn't get
small
the
things.
Uber.
He like just like. pissed me
Julie was
off.
pissed because Cru didn't buy her a drink or didn't pay or offer to pay for the Uber. And then she was like, Toni, is
I
that
was
right?
doing like
and I
a
was like,
million things. I was moving. I was like scared. I'm like, I
Well, I
already
mean,
committed
like,
to move.
it is
with-
maybe expected that if you're dating someone, you're going to buy them a drink, right?
Also,
Yes,
I'm like,
no.
I'm literally moving to Utah. Like,
She's
I just
pissed
made
at
this
the
whole
event
thing.
before we even get in because it's not like
Yeah.
grandiose. She is livid. So when we walk in,
Oh,
she's
sad.
hot.
like, pardon?
She's like, "Where's my red carpet? Where's my
Yeah,
freaking
that's
Gucci
so
bag? Like, why am I not getting pictures taken?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
it
like,
wasn't like
it's okay. Like, we're here. Let's just make the best of it."
Right.
in my view, though, I hosted everyone. Everyone came to my house for a
She
pregame.
did.
I'm
Very
picking
kind.
Cru up. I'm making food. I'm getting everyone drinks. Like, and again, I know that it's like I have that like leader energy, but I'm like, you're also the man I'm choosing, and I'm like, you should be like second in
We're
line
all
and
the
like
house
help
party.
me.
And then she was like, "Okay, like, let's get Ubers."
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm like, I've just done
Okay,
But she didn't
everything.
say
Okay,
that.
yeah.
She was just like, "Hey, Ubers, man, Ubers." I'm
No, I
thinking
literally
we're
was like,
driving.
She shouldn't have to. Like,
You're right. You're right. But
like even I was offering like, can I pick up some alcohol?
You
Can I
did.
get an Uber? Can I get you a drink? Because she had a
But
lot
here's
of
why I didn't get the Uber. I thought me and her were driving. She has a car.
But it was like, even if that's not, it's like, where did you like step up for me? Like, there's always this like excuse.
For people who don't know, you're sober. You don't drink. Does that
No.
play a factor in any of
Huge
this
factor.
conversation?
Like, I bought in one drink in my entire life for a girl. And the one time I did it, I turned around and she was gone. I was like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. That
Okay.
was crazy.
Right.
I'm
So
just,
that's
like,
just not.
I hear
I
you.
have
I
guy
hear you.
friends that like would never, who
But that's a
completely
culture
platonic
thing.
would never let me even like get.
I understand.
with-
Totally.
Yeah, I don't understand that world. I don't drink, never have. Toni understood it. He's like, I got you.
It sounds like it's more about her just wanting you to step
But
up and just
also,
be
I
the gentleman.
communicated it too, and then it was all like, I don't like. No, you're crazy. And I was so calm when I
Yeah.
communicated. I was like, I'm like, it just made me feel like not cared for.
She was calm after she hid for a minute and confided in Toni and told him everything.
That's what
Toni had to come to me and
that's
say,
what I want
hey,
to point out is like, okay,
I'd be venting.
yeah. So but like, I don't know, maybe you should have been talked
me
to him
first.
about.
True, and I said that
Not
too.
him.
And I said that too. I
Right.
was all like, yeah, I'm like, that's where like my fault is. But do you see how it's like ends up being the whataboutism that you attack something for me, and then I'm like, okay, yes, and then it becomes then your
But you
shit's
didn't
still
even
not
come to
addressed.
me and be like,
Did
hey,
you?
I
But-
really wanted you to buy me a
but
drink.
this
and
literally
give me
happened
some
on the
True,
insurance."
show.
come to me about it.
This
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. This happens on the show too. I take accountability and I say, you're right. You're right. But then I never get the same in return. You still aren't like, you know what? I should have showed up for you. I say it
I
for me. So
definitely
we
should
attack
have.
that. So then the original argument never even gets addressed. And now
Okay,
it's just,
wow.
what did Julie do? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I said that to you then. I'm like, you know what? Like, I should just come to you
No,
with
you
our
always
shit.
say you're right after you make a mistake and bet to somebody
God
else and then
forbid.
come back.
Yeah, God
You're like,
forbid.
okay.
So you guys clearly had some turmoil after the show, but you still moved to Utah. So
But
I
it's like
guess
such a small
listen,
deal. It's
I-
We didn't have any turmoil until I was literally leaving. We were packing up my house. Crew drove me
That's a
to.
lie. We're gonna turn at the party.
But I know until you were there in Utah, but it was already decided until you were there in LA.
Oh, that
Yeah, like everything was like
the lease was
Trini,
not
da da da. I'm like, I'm not
purchased
going on
before
the
I got
show.
there.
We're gonna date. We're like,
Okay.
I stay
So
an
did
extra,
you-
I stay an extra couple days at that rap party.
yeah, we're like
doing life insurance
lovey-dovey.
calls.
We're lovey-dovey,
Let's-
and then
yeah.
it's like, but he's already there, and the lease is already signed, and I'm already going to.
Well, let's
not signed.
Yes,
Okay.
it
You
was,
come into the room and you're like, hey, I think I'm gonna do this lease. It's like 4,000 down.
So
I'm like,
let me ask you this
no, that's
though:
crazy.
was the hopes on you moving to Utah to further your relationship with Cru?
100%.
And that's how you felt.
That's
You
the
must have
only
been so excited that she's
Yeah, that was
moving
the
to your
only.
state.
gonna
I
Make
would
it
never
work.
have gone to Utah.
Yeah.
The original plan was to drive me back to Utah on her way to Montana
Mm.
to drop things off in Montana. While we're there, I'm helping her move stuff to storage. When she said, what did you do for me? I helped a little bit. I did some things.
He lifted a finger.
I lifted one. While we're there after the rap party, a couple days in, that's when the lease was purchased. Because you were showing me different options, and you're like, this one's sick.
No,
It's
that
all
happened on
wood.
FaceTime. Once you were there, it was done.
Okay, so let's
Well,
let's
can't.
move on.
Truly, no, it's true.
I feel like you're right because I
was it?
remember that
She
conversation.
didn't even know she was moving to Utah, the rap party.
Yeah, because I remember
That's
you guys were like
true.
talking
It
about
is.
her possibly moving.
Crew,
but it wasn't
I
concrete.
literally was getting a storage unit.
I miss you saying my name like that.
Aw. Okay, let's
All
move
right.
on. We're in Utah.
Regardless,
Okay.
I moved to Utah for this man.
Okay, and you moved to Utah, and this is a great opportunity for you guys to further your relationship.
And keep in mind, that's a bold ass move.
That's a
I've
big,
known her
yeah,
for
it's
7
fucking
days.
terrifying.
She's moving to
But is she
Utah.
moving in with you? She's moving in her own
No,
place.
she got her own
You have your own
place in Sandy.
But
And then
still.
how was your
But
relationship
still,
Yeah.
in Utah? Did you guys date for how long in Utah?
hold up. We had a road trip to get back to Utah.
Right. And that could have been its own show.
The start of it, I was like, I looked at the ETA and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
What
were
the hell
fighting
is
on the
this?
way to Utah.
We had a massive fight.
Surprise,
Over-
surprise.
Over what? Do you remember?
Not
No, okay. I still remember. I'm not in detail.
over this
But-
shit. Like the same thing.
But I will say,
No, I'm
she
like,
was
well, I don't
flustered.
feel
She didn't
safe.
have a place. She didn't have a lead. She didn't know where she was going. She's going to a new place. We had her dog with her. Like, friends were in LA.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm really struggling with this, and I try to like
And I could
communicate
have
the
been
best I
better.
could have, and like Crew's like, you shouldn't be upset, and I'm like, but I am.
I'm just
and I'm
a
like, I'm
positive
really
person, a
scared.
positive outlook.
And it's like
hey, it's gonna
toxic
be great.
positivity because I'm like, you're not listening to me. I'm like, I would get there, which is exactly what I said in the car. I'm like, I would get there if you just
Right.
let me like have my
And that is a
emotions.
flaw of mine. I lack sympathy and empathy. So I'm like, we're always going to
Which is
figure it out. It's
terrifying.
always going to be good. And I needed to be better with that for her, 100%.
with anyone.
Did you guys have any positive moments in Utah together?
No, we did.
Yeah, that's what-
You-
That's actually the hard part.
I'll say we got to the point where I was like, kind of crazy to say it, but like I was thinking about marrying that chick. No, we were intentionally.
It was honestly like very similar to the show. Like we would fight and then it was like really back and forth. I met Crew's parents. Like I
Did you
met
meet
his
his son?
mom. Yeah, in a very like
that was way
casual. I
before
did meet
yeah,
his son
brother.
in a very like casual setting. Like it wasn't super intense. We were at like a health event with him, but yeah, like I was like really integrated into Crew's life, but it was a lot like the show where we would fight, and then it was like when we were like good and really like there were
I would say we were 80% good, 20% fights.
yeah, and they were like
And these
it
aren't
was
like
like really
yelling fights
core.
either.
Yeah, we
They're
don't
like
yell, but it's really like core issues where we're like I'm like
we have different belief system,
yeah, we have entirely different belief systems.
which is
We
crazy
fought a
that we
lot.
made it as far as we did
Mm.
with that. That's what made it so hard on the
Mhm.
decision because I'm like, yo, we could actually do this.
Right.
And she was down and ready for like we're both in our 30s at that point. It's like
Yeah.
Well, when
uh,
things were good, it was great. Like we were like
Yeah.
laughing together and
Well,
It
things were
sounds like great chemistry, but poor compatibility.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
right.
that's a good
Well,
statement.
if only it could end there, but things did take a little bit of a turn when Julie booked a flight to Los Angeles for Halloween weekend and asked Cru to watch her dog, Camila, while she was out of town. Now, it's come to my understanding that Cru did not fulfill those obligations in watching the dog. Is that what you would say?
That's what
And,
the show said.
well,
that's what I say.
And that's what she said.
Julie expected you to let her dog out, consistently while she was in LA the entire time, and she trusted you.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, you were not able to show up one time, which resulted in neighbors letting the dog out who the dog didn't know, and the dog ran away, and Julie had to change her flight and fly back to Utah within 24 hours. Is that correct?
That is correct. The before that though is she's like, hey, I'm going to Netflix party Halloween. I said, cool. Get somebody to watch your dog. I don't want to do it. Make a plan. That's too much responsibility. I don't want to do it. The day of she's leaving, I said, oh, who did you get for the dog? She's like, oh, I didn't get anybody. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it then. So I stay at her house Thursday and Friday. I sleep over there with the dog. Give it food, chicken she's left out. I love dogs. Like I have so many dogs.
I mean, it also is like she just moved to Utah. She doesn't know a lot of people.
Correct.
You're her
So that's
boyfriend
why
at
I
the
would have a
time.
There.
support system. I'm like, can you please? I'm like, please just like help me, like be there for me, which is like a problem we already had in
Yeah.
our like relationship. I'm like, what is your
So why?
invitation to show up for me?
So what were you doing that day that you couldn't let the dogs out?
Well, so the first time it happened, I was on my way to a party with my friend. We were running late, and I said, hey, we got to go let the dog out.
Mhm.
And then I FaceTime her, and I'm like, hey, we're on our way to this party. I'm going to be like an hour or two late.
Mhm.
She freaks
I
out a
flip
little
out
bit.
and like my dog's been home alone all day. Like
I was
she's
just with the dog, slept over.
no,
worked
he was there
till
at 8
1.
a.m. Left her alone all day for
That's
11
incorrect.
hours.
I was at the house till 1
What time
p.m.
did you leave?
1 p.m.
Is there any
So I get off work.
security cameras
My
at the house?
shift-
I don't
my
even
shift was
care.
from
That's
8 to
that's
1.
too
I worked
like
the
you
whole
can't
time.
leave her alone home alone for 12 hours.
I didn't. I left at 1.
You're like, I'm gonna
and
go
I was
after
gonna
this
get
party,
there at
which was like
7.
1
That's
a.m.
6 hours.
Right.
That's
So
not okay.
It is okay to leave a dog alone for 6 hours.
You literally
I've done
texted
it
me, you're
many
like, the
times my
difference would have
entire
been
life.
some piss and shit on the floor. That's animal
I
neglect.
said the
And I was
worst
like,
thing
that's
that
not okay
could
for my
happen.
dog. That's not okay for my dog.
That's
do you think you
it's-
had
I agree with that.
made it very clear to him what his responsibilities were before you left?
So guess what I did?
Please take care of her. I'm like, she's all I fucking have.
I was there all day Thursday. I slept there all day Friday. I worked there till 1. I leave at 1 to go home and do some stuff in my place. I'm heading over there, and instead of getting there at 7, I'm gonna get there at 8:30. She freaks out, and I say, "Hey, if it's that big of a deal,
No,
then
I
don't-
asked the neighbor at 9:30. It was already 9:30 because I said, you're seriously having me ask my neighbor. It's 9:30. The sun's down. I look so irresponsible.
I
Like she,
FaceTime you at the gas station." And I said, "We're running late," and I said, if the dog has to be let out right now, end of the world, the neighbor that's gonna let it out tomorrow, just call them." And she said, "Okay, I'll call them. I'll call you back." She never calls me back. She calls the neighbor. The neighbor says yes. The neighbor comes over. She tells the neighbor, don't put the leash on, just open the door, it'll run to the grass and run back in.
Mm.
Neighbor opens the door, the dog bolts. Because it's scared, she's not there, it wasn't me, she's gone, under the gate and gone. And then she calls me Savik as I'm like getting to that party to drop off
Wow.
Dakota. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go find your dog right now. So I leave the party, drive over to her place, search for an hour up all the streets. And there's a big mountainside, so I searched everything up into that, and I couldn't find her anywhere.
and Cru goes to the one friend I have in there. He's like, well, I hate to say it, but there's nothing left we can do. When you look for 1 hour for
Who called you and let you know the dog went missing?
my neighbor,
And what did they say?
they said
Dog
she's
ran away.
gone. She's
Right.
gone. I don't know. And I said, no. I'm like, no way. Like she's never ran away. Like she's such a like she doesn't like run away.
She never ran away. Yeah.
And
I was like in disbelief. I was like, this isn't happening. Like I was in denial. I was like, do I leave? Do I not leave? And then I'm like, no, I have to leave. And I got a flight back. I left LA at like 3 a.m. My flight was going to be at 5 a.m. And I like called Cru and I said, I'll be there at 8 a.m. And Cru said, okay, cool. I'm going dirt biking.
did you pick her up from the airport when she landed?
I did not. She texted me at like 4 a.m. saying I'm flying in. I didn't see it till I'm already loaded up and leaving to go pick up my brother.
Yeah.
And I say, I heart that message. And then I say, call the pound at 10 when they open.
Mm-hmm.
Sent her a bunch of different.
So helpful to send me the number. You should call the pound. Never thought
Because
of
in
doing
my
that.
perspective, I
Never
figured
thought of doing
someone
that.
had took the dog into the backyard or their house.
You made shit up in your head. You made up a fantasy to make yourself feel better. That's not at all what happened.
This is what I thought.
She definitely thinks you fell short, and this is really
sure.
serious for her because it is her dog.
100%.
Can you
And
take
I
accountability
understand.
for that?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Do you want to apologize maybe for that?
Yeah, I apologize for not showing up. I've told you that before.
I think the spoiler alert is my dog gets hit by a fucking car and dies. And also when I found my dog, I was there alone because Cru wasn't there because you had better things to do than show up for me. You had better things to do than like Camilla out. You had better things to do than show up at the airport for me when I like moved for you and I had real feelings for you. And then I'm sitting there on the side of the road with my like dead dog who I'm like, this is like all I have in this world. And you're not there again. And I'm going like sitting there holding her. So it's not just like, yeah, sorry I didn't show up. Like you changed like the course of like my life. Like you gave me like the worst type of betrayal trauma to work through and you weren't there. And all like, sure, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have been there. Like that's actually not good enough.
That's not how it went down on my side, but I understand her story.
And you still have to use your defense mechanisms in your head to be like, that's not how it went down, so that you can ease your fucking ego. That's not how it went down. Does that feel better for you?
This is what I said.
Does that feel
Feel like
better?
going-
Is there like more responsibility you want him to take? Because he just apologized.
Yeah, I think you should
She
like
wanted me to
really
show up
work
at the
internally,
airport.
like on who he is as a person and your weak character, instead of just being like, yeah, it's just something that happened. Like you're really not internalized. You're really not reflecting. And I can tell by the way that you're still twisting. From my perspective, that's not what happened. You weren't there. I just said what happened. I'm on the side of the
There,
street.
Didn't call me. I called you at
Because
10,
you weren't my
called you
safe
at 11.
person
You
anymore.
didn't let me show up. You didn't tell me
Because
what
you
you want.
already didn't
I
come
was
to the
with
airport. I
my
told
kid.
you when I was getting in at the airport.
And I said I can be there when I'm done with my kid.
Yeah, and I said,
And then
come.
the last hour of being with that kid, that's when you texted me and said,
But
"Get
you
back
had
to God."
every opportunity before that to show up for me. So yes, when I started to say, I don't want you here, then you're like, I try to be there for you. But what about all those times before that I wanted you to be there for me? And that's
talked
exactly
about
what we were
those
even fighting about in LA. I'm like, I want you to be there for me. And it translated to something so horrific. Like this is a character flaw. This isn't just, oh, I was sorry. And like, look at the consequences of that. And you expect to not have consequences and then not have consequences with me. I said it to you. I was like, what did you think I was going to do when you told me that you're going dirt biking? What did you think was going to happen? That I was going to be like, oh, it's okay.
No,
It's
I was
okay.
trying to help you from not being there in person the whole day and you wouldn't respond to me.
Yeah. Because it was too late. Because you had every opportunity to be there
But
for me.
you
You
flew in
weren't.
at 4 a.m. and texted me. I didn't even get
Yeah.
the text.
You
until I
woke
was
up and
already
should have
on the
been like,
road.
I'm there.
I didn't even see it when I woke up. I was on the road
You
looking
text,
for my brother.
then turn around.
I could have. That was a mistake that I made. I should have not gone dirt biking, canceled it,
Mhm.
and come and helped you find your dog.
I think she expected you to drop everything and be there for
Right.
her 150% because this is the most important
And
animal in
in
her
my
life.
mind, she's gonna freak out. I at least got to tell my side.
Yeah.
I think the dog is in someone's backyard. It's happened to me before, and our dog ran away, and it's gonna be in the pound at 10 a.m. So I'm
But
waiting.
who
the
cares
exact
what you
opposite.
We just tell
think?
the story.
Who
what
cares what you
happens.
think, though?
I could.
Who cares about your
How would you care?
fantasy?
I'm gonna
I think
hear
these
But
so.
that's not the
care.
reality.
Well, let's
You guys want to
let's-
focus on
yeah.
fantasy? I care about Cru's fantasy that
It's
he's
not
making up in his
fantasy, I'm
head.
telling you what
It's
happened.
the
No.
No, you said this is the fantasy in my head. That's not what happened. She
I'm
wasn't
telling
in
you
someone's
what my
backyard.
Well,
thoughts
let's
were.
Was she in
yeah.
someone's backyard? Was
Let's
she?
take
No,
it.
no, no, wait.
Yeah.
Was she in someone's backyard? Yes or no?
So what?
Was she in someone's backyard? Yes or no?
We don't know.
Okay, well,
She get home the
let's-
next day.
She wouldn't have
Yeah.
gotten hit by a
Bro,
fucking
what?
car and snapped her
Let's-
neck if
Julie,
she was in someone's
came back-
we
backyard.
need to
Next
tell,
day.
we need to share what happened. Let's take a second there. Obviously, you had wishful thinking, but I think she needed a
made
little
up
bit more
fantasy?
action. You were hopeful that the dog would be okay. I know it's going to be hard, but can you just share with viewers exactly what happened when you got back and how you ended up, finding out your dog had passed away?
So I fly in, Cru's not there, so I get my own Uber from the airport, and I have one other friend in Utah who's helping me look for her, and who's also has a chronic illness, who's like also coming out there like, well, she's really sick and like going through health problems, but like she could be inconvenienced and like show up for me. And I didn't even know like what to do. All I had was Cru say, call the pound. Here's some numbers to call when I'm like even unable to make decisions. And so we like went to the churches nearby and I was like, my dog's missing. And yeah, we were just out like looking all day. And I get a call and it was from one of the ladies at the church. And she said, there's a dog on the side of the road. And I was like, is she white? And she's like, yeah. And so I took off just like running. She's like, it's on like this next street over. So I took off running. And it was like she was a minute away. Like Camilla was like crossing the street to come home. And my girlfriend Jenny was already there because she was on the next street over. And when she turned the corner, she saw all these like cars stopped and these like headlights. And these ladies had stopped. So cars would stop hitting Camilla because whoever hit her drove off. And I got there and they already like had moved her body and they had a blanket over her. And I like walked up. I was like, that's my dog. And these ladies, like just strangers. And again, like more compassion from strangers than like the man I had like feelings for. And these ladies were just like looking at me and they're like, we're so sorry. I thought they were the ones that hit her. And they're like, we're so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Cause I'm like, it was obviously an accident. And they're like, no, the person who hit her drove away. And I just like sat there with my girlfriend Jenny and we just like cried on the side of the road.
I'm
And
sorry.
I called Cru and I like was screaming. But do you see the frustration of being like, but I had a fantasy of what happened to her because it's so different than the reality. So that's why I say the fantasy doesn't matter. That's what you thought, but you thought that to make you feel better. That's what I'm asking you to do is to drop these character defenses that you use to make yourself feel better because it's actually, I care about what he has to say. I care about this fantasy that wasn't the reality. And my reality completely changed. It's a fantasy because that's not what happened. She wasn't in someone's backyard.
But no one knew what happened. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But
The worst thing in the world.
But the worst thing in the world
So
happened.
She does the same thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. I'm like, there's two truths to the side. Tell
There's
yours,
not.
I'll
The
tell
truth
mine.
is that my
there's
dog's
two truths.
dead.
I agree.
And we should all be
That's the truth.
wishing her
What more truth
condolences.
is there
I
than the
agree.
fact that she died?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
I'm so
What's,
sorry.
I'm sorry. What other truth is there? Two truths?
No, we're telling a story, and so we're telling
Who
your side and my
cares?
side.
Mm-hmm.
They
Who cares about what you
They want to hear
thought?
it. They weren't there.
Yeah.
Is there
You're
anything?
very heated and passionate, and you'll say these things and mark me.
Oh
as-
my God! God forbid! I'm passionate about you killing my dog.
He didn't kill you.
No, I understand that 100%.
Brynn, what do you think or can add to the situation, maybe to bring some clarity or, true senses?
I mean, I think obviously there, to which Cru has agreed, he could have, and he could have been there more for her, regardless. Like even with the airport and everything, it's like it's a heated moment, and there's so many emotions that Julie is going through, and the truth that was going through her mind is, this is like her pet who she cares for like a child, and
Yeah,
and
100%.
she needed somebody there for her, and she hoped that that would have been Cru, and it wasn't. And I think, of
But
course,
also,
that's-
like no one. Like I
And
just
she
moved
had
to
nobody
Utah
there.
too. Like I didn't have
She had-
anyone there.
Yeah. And it's like it's a tragedy in so many ways, but there were a lot of things that I think could have been done at least to make Julie feel more supported in that moment. And it makes me very sad that she wasn't able to have that. And at the very least, I'm glad that you had a few friends that were able to be inconvenienced, because when it's somebody that you care about, those are the things that really show that you're there to show
Yeah.
up for people. And I think, I feel for her in so many ways, and I wish there was more of that I could have done. It is like I wasn't even in the state, and
Yeah, I mean, for
it's
sure.
a really hard thing, but I think that also shows, the incompatibility there, where it's just like they aren't on the same wavelength at all, and Julie needed support, and she didn't have that.
It's so painful, and I miss her so much. And like in the ways that like I do blame Cru, like I blame myself so much because I'm like, it also happened because I picked someone who wasn't a good man, and I knew it, and I knew the signs, and I still like stayed, and I picked you. So I'm like, as much as I blame you, like I blame myself, and that's something I'm like struggle with so much because it wouldn't have happened if I didn't like Cru into
You
my
can't
life.
blame
Like, she would,
yourself.
but it's fine. I
Some-
do. It is. If I like would pick better men, like she would still be here. Like that's the person I trusted, and it's like
Sometimes life happens.
no, it's like. But I mean, I promise you, like I'll never learn that lesson again because I had already learned the lesson. Like I had said it going into the show. I'm like, you really remind me of like my toxic, abusive ex, and I'm like, I've learned this lesson before, and then I decided that I didn't.
Yeah.
Toxic, abusive ex is crazy. Never abused her once.
Is there anything maybe you can say or have that could maybe give her a little bit of comfort?
I mean, I fucking loved Camilla, and you know that. We were best friends. She loved me. We had sleepovers all the time. Like, I am sincerely sorry that she passed away. And you know that.
Do you want to give her anything?
Um, I mean, I don't think she wants it right now. To be honest, I can tell she's heated. I'm just gonna give it to her afterwards.
Okay.
I truly want nothing from you. I think whatever you have for me, it's to soothe you and soothe your ego.
Yeah, she sits here and calls me a toxic person, and
Look at the way you responded. Look at the way you're still
I
responding.
understand that.
Look at it's not that. It's the way your defenses are still. That's what makes you
I don't even
toxic.
get to talk. Can you guys see that? Like,
I want to hear what you have to say.
crazy.
Obviously, we're gonna have to put a little bit of a pin in this, but the
She's
two
trying
of
to
you.
say, she's trying to come at my character and that I'm a horrible person and
Yeah.
this and that. Why did you move to Utah for me? Why were we together for 2 months? Why did you want to get married? Like, why did you want to do all these things? You're trying to blanket statement all of that and call
Why
me
do
a
people end up
horrible
with horrible
person.
men all the time?
Did you break up with him because
Oh
of the dog?
God,
Yes.
that was definitely the last straw.
But what
Obviously-
I'm saying is, it's just keep in mind she's coming after me for all this character stuff, and we have more to get to.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna hold on a
Well, I'll
second.
give you. I'll
Yeah,
give it.
I think
I mean,
that
this was the gift I was gonna give her for Christmas, and
That's
you want to
so
hand it to her,
fucking
Tony? She might
manipulative.
hit me or something. But
at least
it
look
was
at
a book
it.
about Camilla.
It's so manipulative.
It's
because
not,
on
I had
every
it
time
for
you
before
had-
we were broken up.
Every
So after
time
we
you
got back-
had to make me feel better, you weren't there for me in all the ways that mattered. Please don't. I think that's such a slap in the face. And all the
This
times
was
that you had
purchased
to be
back
there
in
for me,
December, and
it's
you do it.
all a reflection of your ego to soothe you, to make yourself feel better. Because when
That's
you could have been there
right.
for me, you weren't there. That's how I know that that gift is so manipulative. It's just like when you showed up with flowers out my door, the bear, it's all for you to feel better.
It's
because when
not.
you
It's
had times
to
for
try
me
and
to
make
feel
you
better,
better.
you had all those chances and you don't take them until then you're like,
There's
oh, now I have to
one
not
day
feel like the bad
That
guy.
had already been spoken for. That's it.
That's not it.
It is true. And you know that.
Listen, this did not end there. There was some social media back and forth. There was some aggressive texts sent for
Who
a
went
few
with you to go
weeks.
pick up your dog's ashes?
Because
That's the
everything that
question.
you do is
That's the
so
question.
transactional. And that's why when you do shit like this, it makes me feel like it's all for ego, it's all for transaction, because you bring it back up. It's never out of your heart. It's so that you can say, well, I did this for you, but I did this for you. I went with you to get your dog's ashes.
Yeah, I did that. to make
Amazing.
myself-
Like bring that up. No, you bring it up, you do it so that you can bring it up at a later time and say, but look what I did for you.
That's what you do. I don't do that. I did it.
You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I have
Well,
texts
back
of you.
at these-
I have texts of you saying, but I got you a keychain. I got you a keychain. I did so much for you. And I literally said in there, I said, this is why I don't trust anything that you say, because you bring it back up to say, but at least I did this for you. And that's what makes it fake.
You guys can see why I'm not with you. I'll just put that out there. It's too much. You can't.
Yeah, you don't, because you
can't
never want
say
someone to
that.
hold you accountable. You can't be with someone to hold you
I've
accountable.
already said
You will
sorry.
never
I'll
be with
take the
someone who can hold you
accountability.
accountable, because you
You're the one
just
that
you
actually does
twist it, and you will never. Of course, you don't want to be with someone like that.
Then why'd you take me back after?
Cru, because I had feelings for you, because I was in the worst
But
place
if I have a
ever.
horrible character, why would you take me back?
Do you not know? Because that's how abuse works. Because you're love bombing, you're
didn't
there for me.
abuse you.
I'm fucking confused. I'm crying to you. I'm like,
did
I don't.
not abuse
I was like, I don't want to be alone. Your manipulation is abusive. I was like, I would cry to you. I was
what
like,
manipulation?
this is manipulation. The shit that you pull, the way that you talk, though, your fucking demeanor, your toxic comebacks, the way, the gifts, all of that. what you're doing right now
If you're trying to
is
be nice to
manipulative.
someone and they're Latina, they're not going to accept it. They're going to call you manipulative. Just take note on that.
Is there anything he could say or do to make you feel like this isn't his fault and to make you look at him
No.
differently? And
I
'cause
feel
it seems
no,
like he did
it's-
try in some ways.
I'm a
and you think that's all.
100% accountability person. I take
That's not
accountability.
true.
If I was there, the dog could have still been alive. She also needs to take accountability. She left. There was no error. There's so many things we can get into that we don't need to.
Yeah.
That the dog could have still been here. I am a firm believer on everything happens for a reason. I think this happened for you in your life, and you know it because you've told me that, and we talked about it afterwards, and it allowed you to be freed up to go do all the grand things that you're gonna do, and you know that.
What else happened after the dog? There was some social media activity, some pretty dark texts exchanged.
Not even there. We get back together after the dog thing.
But Cru's also like telling me everything I want to hear. He's like, this made me realize like I want you to be my girlfriend. I'm sorry. I'll give you everything you need. I'll be there for you. Like I want to be a better man. And so I'm like, that's also going on. I'm at the worst point and I'm like crying to him. I'm like, I feel like I can't even like make decisions. I'm so broken. I'm like, I want you here. Like I care about you. I have feelings for you. Like I was completely falling for you. And you're like, yeah, but you took me back. Like I was at the worst spot in my life. Like, yes, I wanted you there and I told you that. I'm like, I want you here. I don't want to be alone. But I'm
And
like,
that's
I
why we got
fucking
back
hate
together.
you. And I like said that too. I was like, I hate you. I'm so hurt by you.
Correct.
And
we
so,
got
and
back
then
together.
Cru goes to me, get the ashes. Yeah, we were together for like 3 days and you were like, okay, we need to like make a decision. Are we going to do this? Are we not? And I was like, I can't
And then
do it.
you said no for a day. And then the next day you're like, I actually want to do this.
No.
Okay.
I said, I don't. No, I was like, that's not true.
And when
You asked me, you're like, are we doing this or not? Either we're actually dating. That's what we said. We're like, we're either going to actually date or we're not.
And then you were playing hardball and said no. But then we kept hanging out, started sleeping
For like
together
3
again.
days.
More like a week.
No, this was 3 days. It was like over the
Pull
weekend.
up the text.
And-
I should have brought.
and when did
This is
things?
crazy.
You got to bring receipts to a reunion.
Yeah, that's
when
my
did things
bad.
end officially? Like when did you cut communication off?
We basically were like,
She didn't talk to me for like 7 to 10 days after the dog thing. And then we get back. We start talking. We go get the ashes. We hang out and we're hooking up again and we're thinking about dating. Like actually, and making it official. And she's like, I hate you, but I love you. I hate you, but I love you, whatever. And then we go on some dates and then we just realized, I was like, we can't do this. It's not going to work. We're two different in our belief systems. So we're like, let's do one last date and just like, have a fun time. We did.
well, no, we got to a point too, because I really felt like you were going to get me back and then just be like, okay, now I feel better. Now I have you back. And then I was like, I can't do it. That conversation also, I'm like, I can't do it. Like, there's too much grief. We talked a lot about that of like forgiveness and moving past it. And I was like, I can't do it.
We looked it up on ChatGPT and it said we were a walking dumpster fire for compatibility.
Is there any part of you that
You're
still,
not going to smoke with that. You know that one was funny.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
you need
heard that.
ChatGPT to figure that one.
Cru, is there any part of you that still has feelings for Julie?
That's tough. Ask me that later.
Is there any part of
He
you?
just asked you now.
Well, a lot more. At this point in time, 100%. I wanted to be with her. I think we could make it work. I think love is two people choosing each other and we can overcome anything in that moment. But because our belief systems were so different, I was like, I just can't.
Yeah.
Like she lives a different way, swings both ways. And to me, I just don't do that. I don't
And
do
Chris homophobic, so.
the gay stuff. It's just not me. I'm like Shia
You're
LaBeouf.
not you're not
What?
gay, but you support gays, correct?
They can do whatever they want.
That's not what you say, Cru. It does not support gays.
No, they can do whatever they want. I don't support it.
You're
No, I
so
don't think people should
judgmental.
be gay.
You've said the
but
most
I know
evil
he's
shit.
gay,
Wait,
and I'm
what's
still
that?
friends with
You don't think people should be gay?
I don't. In fact, I can have my opinion.
So
That's
you
what
don't
the
support
Bible
gay
says.
people.
So I just go Christian values. That's all it is.
Well, it also says not to have kids before marriage.
So what?
Also says not to have kids before marriage or out of wedlock or have sex before marriage.
I agree. No one's perfect. I get that. But what I'm saying is on the values is I don't support it. I don't do it. I know Zach's gay and I can still be cordial with him and we talk and it's fine.
Well,
You don't need to get into that.
Is there
talk? But yeah,
any
right.
way the two of you could move forward cordially, or is this relationship, friendship done for the rest of your lives?
Mm,
Like, will you ever see him again after today?
I mean, we might see each other, but I don't think like not amicably.
There's nothing left to say. No. Do you feel like there's anything left to say?
This girl, after we break up cordially, we still try to be friends for a day. She hangs up on my ass on the phone that night, and I'm like, I don't play that game. I'm not going to do that. You can act how you want to act, which she profusely apologizes for that next day and says, you were right. I shouldn't have done that. We can't do the friend thing. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do the friend thing, but like we can mutually part ways. And at this point, I've already purchased that gift. It wasn't any intention to just try and make it like a thing about me. And then we don't talk for a week or something. I go to Vegas that weekend, hanging out with a group of pretty girls, and she decides to get vindictive, and she goes and has a threesome with my two friends.
Yo, that's crazy.
Iconic.
Like, talk about character. That's what I'm talking about.
Did you have a threesome with two of his friends?
Yeah, but I warned him and I said, stop fucking with me.
Yeah.
What do you mean stop?
You got a warning?
Because you were like
No, I
posting,
didn't.
you were posting photos, trying to like make me mad with Shania and like posting that. And I called you. I said, don't fuck with me. I was like, a
She
breakup's
thinks
hard
I'm
enough.
posting for her. I'm posting. I'm having a good time with my friend at F1 in Vegas.
Right.
Okay,
We're on all the
don't fuck with me.
Are you still friends with them?
with who? Oh no, fuck no.
Yeah, that's fucked up on their end. Too.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
fucked-
that was like.
And it was a guy and a girl. They had a threesome, and she fucked both of my friends to get vindictive. And
Well,
she's
no,
like,
that's not
"Oh, it is
true.
what it
I did it
is."
because I wanted to. It was just a bonus.
That's
that
a lie. You were all
crashed
shit-faced
out.
drunk, and you know that.
Well, yeah, and we all wanted to.
And they tried to.
You think I like just maneuvered it? I'm like,
get mad at
hey.
me.
Did you hook up with his friends to get him mad at him, or did you have a crush on them? Was that your rebounds?
Yeah.
She was just trying to be vindictive. That's all it was. She
No,
wasn't
I
saying-
hooked up with them because I wanted to. And then it was just a bonus that I thought Cru would be mad about it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
It's not like I'm the one. There's three of us. It's not like I'm the only one in there that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. She
Yeah.
could have had a threesome with anybody. That's fine. That's okay. Do your thing. But the fact that it was two of my friends lets me know she's very vindictive and did it on purpose. When that happened, I was like, "Fuck you. I'm done. Blocking you on everything. Like it's done." Before that, to answer your question, yes, it could have been cordial. Yes,
You were
maybe,
also
whatever.
though the way that you came after me and you're like, you have no morals. You were literally sexting a girl when you were trying to get back together with me,
Sexting who?
Des. And you're in there. Oh, do you want to go riding in our bedroom? In your bedroom?
Who's dead?
On Halloween. No, you literally, I saw all the texts. You literally meet a girl
Nuts.
on Halloween weekend. So the way that you're like, oh my gosh, you're such a horrible person for hooking up with someone. You literally met a girl the night that my dog dies at a party. Follow her on Instagram. And then we're messaging her while you're saying to me, this made me realize I want to date you. I want to get back together. I want to be this great
That was
man.
2
And then
years
you're,
later, but
no, it's not. I literally saw the messages.
pull 'em up.
I don't, well, you pull them up. You
Yeah,
pull them
yeah.
up. Why don't you pull them up?
Well,
You're the one who was messaging her.
unfortunately, we're not going to be able to come to any mutual understandings today,
This is getting
which is
good.
fine. I think it might be better for both parties, but I hope that you guys are at least able to express your sides of the story, and it'll be up to the viewers to decide how they feel. And I mean, everyone can obviously follow Julie, Toni, Brynn, and Cru on social media, as I'm sure they will continue to live their lives somewhat publicly. So thank you all so much for being here. I do want to, kind of go around quickly if there's anything you want to say to wrap things up, or your
About
biggest.
that?
No, just about the experience.
Okay.
I don't have any other thoughts.
About the
anymore.
experience, your biggest takeaway, and from the whole show, Secrets and Soulmates.
I mean, I'm happy to be here.
You had a good time overall.
I did.
Except
Yeah,
for the
I had a
zip
great-
line.
I'm here for the zip line.
Period.
The drama.
This past. What about Brynn? What is the biggest lesson you'll take away from this?
Biggest lesson? Don't stand near bodies of water if you're around me.
Oh shit.
No, it's
That
a
is
great
true.
time.
Cru, is there anything else you want to leave us with before we go? I do, appreciate your vulnerability.
She's the best cook I've ever had. I'll give her that. It's amazing
Still a
food.
team.
But just that alone, I was like, maybe I should just put the weaves aside. With that said, don't date a Latina. I wouldn't do it ever again.
All right.
Damn. And Julie, thank you as also for being vulnerable today. I know this was really hard for you.
it really was real for me in a lot of ways. Like, I think what happened is like it breaks my heart. I'm really like sad about it. And I'm really sad how everything ended. And I'm just sad.
Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, everybody. This season gave us romance, drama, and some messy moments. Thank you to the Real fans for tuning in. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Secrets and Soulmates, now streaming on Real Short. I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I'll see you guys next time. The cameras may have cut, but the drama didn't. Let's take a look at what our sexy singles still had to say.
Can I give you a hug?
Can I hit you in the face?
Sure. Go for it.
You'll use it against me.
I just said, do you want to talk? You said no. Or hug.
I said,
My bad.
go for it. I said, talk.
Why'd you go fuck my two friends?
Oh, because I wanted to, and then I thought that it was funny that you'd be mad over it.
Yeah, it's just completely vindictive.
You
Right.
killed my dog.
I didn't. You're the one that left. Had nowhere to talk.
Yeah, I blame
Told
myself
the neighbor
too.
to let the
Cru,
dog out.
I already blame
That's all
myself
on you.
too. I already blame myself too.
Because it was yours.
But I blame you too.
That's fine.
Yeah, so
You can do
I don't
whatever
feel
you
bad
want.
about sleeping with Jace and Shania.
That's fine. It's just a character flaw, though.
Yeah, you have poor character.
That's crazy. You tried to plot that.
You think I'm that much of a mastermind? I'm like Chase and Shania, like let me
You
like tell
brag
you.
about it all the time. All in the name
I
of
didn't brag
cinema.
about it.
Yes, you do.
No,
All in the
I
name of
do
cinema.
not.
The whole pool thing. It's all you love it.
Oh yeah, that part, but not about this.
The voting.
I'm
shit,
not
you
the one who
always-
said anything.
I'm just
You think
talking in
I
general.
set that up? You think I was all like, I have this plan with Chase and Shania,
No, I know you
and
did
they're
it
gonna
on
like
purpose,
walk
though.
around.
1000%. I'm over it, if that makes sense. Like the whole threesome thing. I get it. I was pissed. I know why you
I don't
did
care how you feel about it.
it. You still want to fight? You're that addicted to fighting?
No, I'm not even fighting. It's like impossible with you. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you how I feel. I don't care. Like
I
if
think I
you're
know
mad
how you
about
feel
it.
right now. I don't need you to respond to what I'm about to say next because you can say whatever you want, but I have no grudges against you. I know I sent mean text messages when that went down, and I said fuck you and all this stuff, and I was hurt in the moment, and a lot's gone on. Life's too short, so I don't hold grudges or anything.
It's not just about who I am, though. I hope you know that for who you are and how you showed up in my life.
I'm well aware of who I am. I'm confident in who I am, my character, how I live my life, everything.
That's disappointing to hear.
Because I asked myself, why didn't I show up on that day? And I think that was my answer, that I didn't love you enough to be there.
I think we would have never worked it out after Camilla died.
Oh, that's a lot. We already did. But I get that. If you want to say that,
didn't.
that's fine.
We didn't, though.
Then
I was
why
like,
were
I
you
was
back with me?
crying to you, saying because I was confused, because I had feelings for you, because I cared about you, and
If it
was
makes you
hurt.
feel better to
Both
try and
things
say this and act
happened.
like we weren't there, that's fine. If you want to die on that
I
rock,
literally,
go
I
for it.
was saying the same thing to you.
It would have worked if we had the same beliefs. I could have worked with the spicy Latina shit. Great cooking.
I can't work with your lack of character.
Well,
Tell
just
us
real
why.
quick, I feel like someone should take this.
Shut the fuck, Tony. It's not fucking funny.
I'm not making a
like
joke.
I
I'm
fucking hate you
serious.
for that. Fuck you guys.
I feel like someone should take this.
I'm done talking to them. We're done. I'm like, it's sick. Because I'm like, you had so many other ways to be caring. Not only after that, I'm like, when he's like texting me, he's like, you hooked up with my friends. That's not what he was saying. He was saying, you dirty, dirty whore. Like, you're disgusting, you're this. Like, I've seen his character. He's like, I don't have bad character. I don't have bad character. I'm like, your defense mechanisms are up so fucking high. You've twisted shit in your brain. And then you come here and say, got you a book. Oh, she's just so angry. She's just this angry woman. She doesn't see. She's just so, she has a bad relationship with her. I do see, and I see how manipulative or whatever. Of course, it hurts my emotions because I'm like, this is someone I did care about. And he's like, then why did you get back together? Because that's how manipulation works. That's how this whole game works. Like, I don't want to be like hurt. I don't want you guys. Like, now I like see men and I like see the control and I'm like, you guys are so fucking abusive. You're so horrible. And you like lack love so much. He sat in there and he was like, you know, I was thinking about, like, why didn't I show up for you that day? He's like, I just didn't love you enough. And I'm like, that's probably the only honest thing you've said, because I'm like, I believe that.
Have you heard that?
Like, that was the first time he said it.
What did you think when you heard
I'm
that?
like,
Beyond being like,
that's
true.
I'm like, that's the first honest thing. But I'm like, that hurts. I'm like, because I'm like, you're right. And I'm like, imagine me. I'm like moving to Utah. And I'm like, I did care about you. And I'm ashamed like to say that. And I'm like, I did care about you. Like, against my better judgment, against knowing, like, I've seen this story before. I still wanted it to like work with you, like part of me. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, when the dog stuff was happening and my friend was there and she was looking for my crew, goes back to the party after an hour and gets a girl's Instagram and is like sexting her after. And my girlfriend was just like, yeah, he basically was like, there was nothing we can do. And I was like, this guy fucking hates me. I'm like, not only, and I'm like, I feel that way, but I'm like, I'm not even looking for anything. I'm like, I just want to be like good, and I don't want like someone to come into my space again and like mess that up or hurt me or please leave me alone. I'm like, I don't want anything from you guys. I'm like not looking for anything. I just like don't want you to come into my space and hurt me.
Do you want to say any final thoughts, feels, or are you done?
I think I'm done.